Gold is good in its place, but loving, brave, patriotic men are better than gold. These men ask for just the same thing, fairness, and fairness only. This, so far as in my power, they, and all others, shall have. I desire so to conduct the affairs of this administration that if at the end I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be down inside of me. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who'll get me a book I ain't read. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law. Let not him who is houseless pull down the house of another, but let him work diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. I know that the Lord is always on the side of the right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. Hold on with a bulldog grip, and chew and choke as much as possible. What kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. I pass my life in preventing the storm from blowing down the tent, and I drive in the pegs as fast as they are pulled up. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Never stir up litigation. A worse man can scarcely be found than one who does this. A worse man can scarcely be found than one who does this. Standing as I do, with my hand upon this staff, and under the folds of the American flag, I ask you to stand by me so long as I stand by it. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up, and shake off the existing government, and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right, which we hope and believe. A woman is the only thing I am afraid of that I know will not hurt me. I never had a policy, I have just tried to do my very best each and every day. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every calling, is diligence. If there is anything that a man can do well, I say let him do it. Give him a chance. When I hear a man preach, I like to see him act as if he were fighting bees. Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. That must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberties. A man watches his pear tree day after day, impatient for the ripening of the fruit. Let him attempt to force the process, and he may spoil both fruit and tree. But let him patiently wait, and the ripe pear at length falls into his lap. I can make more generals, but horses cost money. I was born and have ever remained in the most humble walks of life. Don't swap horses in crossing a stream. I am rather inclined to silence. These capitalists generally act harmoniously and in concert to fleece the people, and now that they have got into a quarrel with themselves, we are called upon to appropriate the people's money to settle the quarrel. Upon this subject of education, not presuming to dictate any plan or system respecting it, I can only say that I view it as the most important subject which we, as a people, can be engaged in. Some single mind must be master, else there will be no agreement in anything. Never regret what you don't write. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new at all. When the white man governs himself, that is self-government, but when he governs himself and also governs another man, that is more than self-government, that is despotism. With the fearful strain that is on me night and day, if I did not laugh I should die. Common-looking people are the best in the world, that is the reason the Lord makes so many of them. Knavery and flattery are blood relations. True patriotism is better than the wrong kind of piety. When I am getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say and 2/3 about him and what he is going to say. As our case is new, we must think and act anew. Everyone desires to live long, but no one would be old. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and to the young, it comes with bitterest agony because it takes them unawares. I have had experience enough to know what I say. The highest art is always the most religious, and the greatest artist is always a devout person. We can succeed only by concert. It is not, can any of us imagine better, but, can we all do better? Whatever woman may cast her lot with mine, should any ever do so, it is my intention to do all in my power to make her happy and contented, and there is nothing I can imagine that would make me more unhappy than to fail in the effort. A capacity, and taste, for reading gives access to whatever has already been discovered by others. I hope to stand firm enough to not go backward, and yet not go forward fast enough to wreck the country's cause. The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed.